The fix for this fail was bubble wrap. Figuring that out with Power BI saved this company about $8,000 a year. But the key is how they figured that out. So we're talking about a wholesale distributor doing around 20 million in annual revenue. This company knew they had a problem with product returns, but they didn't have the data to figure out what was being returned and the shipping method that was used. Actually, they had the data, but they couldn't analyze it because it was spread around in 3 different databases, including a third-party database they didn't even own. So an outside logistics firm gave them the returns information in a messy spreadsheet that was a huge pain to decipher. David Beaty from TrinSoft, what options did this company have to solve this issue at this point?
This company really, they came to us with this issue you just described. They really had two options. They could work on their whole ERP and consolidate the two pieces of financial software that they were using, but that was a little more than they wanted to bite off at this moment, at this time. So that was option number one, was change their ERP. And then but there was also a problem, as you noted, that they had this third-party logistics information that they were never going to own. So they were always going to have two to deal with. And their other option was finding some other way to see all of that data in one place. And that's where Power BI came in.
So David, tell us, what was the fix for this fail?
Yeah, so they opted for option two. We've still had some conversations with them about their ERP, and maybe that's a long-term fix, but we were able to work with it within a matter of weeks, get them a report in Power BI. And so with Power BI, they have one dashboard, and they've combined all the data from their two financial pieces of software and this third-party logistics firm. So they got access to all of that, and they have it in one dashboard. So it really feels like they've got one spot to see this data. So that was the fix that they opted for, and for them it's been very affordable because they got a report from TrinSoft, and we worked with them on that. They didn't have to redo their whole ERP, and it's also very flexible because of that second layer. Sometimes the second layer gets a little messy, but because they have that second layer of Power BI, they can ask for anything they want, and we can just make it all look pretty in Power BI. So that's one of the great things about it. And the data is refreshed every 10 minutes during the workday, so they have really up-to-date data too.
Interesting. And just to clarify, this company was not using Microsoft Dynamics 365 at the moment, but maybe in the future.
They were not.
Right.
They were not. And actually, we've had
all.
this phase two conversation with them about Business Central, and they're talking about that longer term, but they wanted something, in a month and in a couple of weeks. So yeah, and they are not using Dynamics 365, but we work with them all. Hundreds of different data sources that we can talk to. So yeah.
So what were some of the outcomes, some of the benefits from this fix?
Benefit one was the one-stop shop. They were able to go to this one location and see this data very, very easily, whereas before they were filtering through reports and all that sort of thing. So obviously with that one-stop shop, they're saving a lot of time because they didn't have to try to decipher that. And of course, when you have that new data in a new place, you've got new insights, right? So they all of a sudden, it was very, very clear on day one, as soon as they looked at this Power BI report, they saw one of their bar charts with a big blue section on it, and they were like, what is that? Because it's so visual, they saw the giant blue bar, and they said, hold on, what's going on there? And so they were able to make decisions, and that's the third benefit. They were able to make, this business agility. They were able to make these pivots and moves, and all of a sudden they were able to act on the data that they had, where before it was lost in spreadsheets, actually. So the visual part was really, really key for them. So the one-stop shop, new insights, and then the ability to act, that's kind of the key for this company.
But we said that bubble wrap was the fix for this fail. So how is that part of the story, David?
Yeah, I brought my visual aid here. I've got some bubble wrap right there. There it is. I'll even pop a few for you. Yeah, bubble wrap, actually. So simple, right? They realized when they looked at the big blue bar that I'm describing, they realized there was one of the items that they shipped. It was actually their office supplies that was getting returned far and away more than anything else. and they actually just worked with their third-party shipper to improve the way that these things were packaged. And so a little bit of bubble wrap solved solved this issue for them. And it turned out to be great. Of course, there's other insights that they gained as well, but they were immediately able to fix that one thing that really was very beneficial to them right away. So
Awesome. So a Power BI project that maybe cost a few $1,000s once will save them about $8,000 a year. And is
yeah.
this something that TrinSoft does for companies, again, no matter what ERP system they have?
Yeah, regardless of ERP, there really are literally hundreds of data sources, and we get a lot of people that come to TrinSoft and say, they bring the virtual sort of stack of papers, and it's usually a bunch of spreadsheets and a little bit of data from here and there, and they all say it's really messy. We're different than everybody else, but actually everybody's that way. So we love taking all that data, and our Power BI team loves taking all that data and just turning it into this beautiful dashboard that people love to work in. And that $2,000 you mentioned, that and the 8,000 that they've saved, that goes on forever. They every year they're saving that, so it's really added up quickly. We have a lot of stories like that, and a lot of feedback very similar. People often find the very immediate benefit to being able to visualize their data from all these different sources, and so and the fact that it works with any ERP is great. Of course, it's a cousin of Business Central and Dynamics 365, but it'll work with all sorts of data. So that's actually really helpful as well. But our team loves working with this kind of data and helping companies make it look great, make decisions on it.
Great. Thank you for helping us understand the story with the bubble wrap and one fail, one fix.